Hey, Key Grip! What's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite movies, and today I'm going to be doing a movie review on a Hong Kong movie called Far Far Away, or in Cantonese,緣路山旮旯. It is directed by a guy who calls himself Amos Y, as in WHY, but his Cantonese name, his Chinese name is actually really plain and simple, Wong Ho Yin. So I never planned to watch this movie. If you have followed my Letterboxd account and saw my future watch list, you would know that I didn't have this movie on the list because I never frickin' planned to watch this movie. There have been several movies that came out this year from Hong Kong, and I am interested in none of them. And on top of that, rom-coms are not my thing. If you know what kind of person I am, you would know that I usually don't watch rom-coms. So, Hong Kong rom-com, not my thing. Totally not my thing. But here is the reason why I watched this movie in Los Angeles, out of all places in the world. So, maybe some of you guys know about this. If you are caught up with my lore, you would know that there is an organization called the HKOS, which stands for Hong Kong On Screen. It is a newly formed nonprofit organization who does screenings of Hong Kong movies all around Los Angeles. And they're a very new organization, and in mid-June, I went to a gathering organized by the co-founder of HKOS, and I met a lot of people there, and I even brought my friend Pepper over there to make more connections. And so we joined this group chat in Telegram. And about a week ago, the co-founder of HKOS texted us, was like, "Oh, this Saturday we need a photographer to take some photos because we're doing a screening of Far Far Away." And so Pepper was like, "I'm free on that day." And then I said to myself, "Oh wow, I kind of want to join too because if I don't join this, then I would just stay at home the whole day like a loser, like a loner, like an idiot. And this would be a good opportunity for me to do some stuff film related and Hong Kong related and Hong Kong film related. And I could hang out with Pepper as well. It's a great opportunity." So I was like, you know what? I'm free too. So yesterday, I and Pepper took an Uber ride, a 1 hour and 10-minute long Uber ride, all the way from where we're living at right now to Whittier, California, which is technically outside of LA, but for me, it's all the freaking same. And we went to Whittier, we went to Starlight Cinemas, and there we met the founder and the co-founder of HKOS and several people as well. And we took a bunch of photos and we watched the movie without paying for the ticket. But we did help out HKOS. Both I and Pepper used a Sony camera, and it was a lot of fun. It was a fun little experience. And even after watching the movie, I and Pepper walked around Whittier, and we got to see different cool places. But anyways, let's talk about the movie, Far Far Away. It's not very good. It's not very good, as expected. And it's kind of ironic because when I and Pepper went all the way to Whittier, we're also going somewhere far, far away. Haha. But first of all, I'd like to say that this is a refreshing taste as far as modern Hong Kong films go, because as of now, Hong Kong cinema is completely filled to the brim with lowbrow humor or CGI Hollywood copying epic sci-fi and boring, plain police versus criminals type movies. And while this is a rom-com, which is one of the most popular genres in Hong Kong cinema, I think this movie does have a very indie sort of teenage twist to it. And I say that not because the characters are teenagers. They're not teenagers. They're adults. But This movie is Manting, and if you don't know what Manting is, it is a style that was born in Hong Kong in the late 2010s, where a bunch of teenagers and young adults would listen to a lot of indie music. They would write poetry in their Instagram posts and their Instagram stories. They would take a photo of a cup of coffee and like quote some philosopher, and they would like indie artists and stuff like that. And they would dress in a very artsy way, like they're a literature major or something. This style. And so this movie is almost the pinnacle of this style, all the way from how the characters dress to the story itself to the musical choices. Right off the bat, the movie starts off with a song, which is sung by indie artists Luna Zabep and Manson. Both are indie artists that are relatively popular among teens and young adults in Hong Kong right now. So this movie is really going for that style 100%, full commitment. And maybe they have done that a little too much, because there are a few points in this movie that they have tried this so hard that it becomes cringy. But I think the main reason why I didn't like this movie is the story. So the story is essentially, as you can probably tell by the poster, there's a guy, the main character. He is an office worker who's socially awkward, kind of a loner, and he essentially builds himself a harem of 5 different girls. And apparently he tries to date all of them and sort of learned how to date throughout the whole process. But the thing is, with so many characters, with 6 characters, and only 96 minutes of runtime, this movie completely fails at establishing anything. There is barely a conflict here. There are conflicts, but it's barely explained or shown to us. The main character, the protagonist, played by Sam Gake, he's good in this movie, but his character is just not fleshed out enough. He is boring as hell. He's boring as a plank of wood. And throughout the whole film, you don't really see his character go through any change whatsoever. And then we have the 5 other female characters, and all 5 of them sort of have a storyline-ish, but only 2 of them had closure. The other 3 girls basically didn't have to exist at all. There's a girl who showed up in the beginning of the movie for like 10 minutes and then disappears for the entire rest of it. There's a Hannah Chan's character, and her storyline with the main character seems like it's going somewhere, and then she just completely disappears for no reason whatsoever. And there's Crystal Jung, again, the girl in the beginning of the movie. I already forgot about her. This film basically takes the anime harem trope and make it even more awkward and very boring as well. Yes, I am bored by this movie. Maybe it's just me, maybe rom-com is just not my thing, but because the characters' motivations and their backgrounds and their conflicts are not clearly told, I was so confused watching the movie. And then sometimes this movie tries something creative, like trying to tell a story within a scene out of chronology, and it makes it even more freaking confusing. So it's confusing, it's boring, it lacks structure, and there's even this little quirk thing, like the main character download an app on his phone, and the app's sort of like a navigation app like Google Map, but for Hong Kongers, with Hong Konger jokes. The narrator of the app has a sense of humor, and it's so friggin' annoying. It's funny at times, but mostly the app is very friggin' annoying. So story-wise, this movie is a bit of a failure for me. But on top of that, I think the technical elements of this movie are not that great as well. And mainly its sound. There are footstep sounds that sound like they're downloaded from YouTube. And I know YouTube footsteps, okay? I have first-hand experience when it comes to downloading Foley sound effects off of YouTube. And then there are sound recording issues in some of the scenes. Some of the scenes that take place in a car, there are some sound recording issues, like maybe the boom mic is attached with the camera and the camera's a little bit far away. So the actors, they just don't sound as clear. And on top of that, the cinematography and the editing are mediocre, sometimes even a little jarring with the editing. Sometimes some scene transitions just come out of nowhere for some reason. There are slow-mo shots in this movie that are just so cheesy. And there are musical choices that are just very campy. And yeah, I know this review has been really negative so far, but let me just say that when I watch this movie, I really get the feeling that the director and the writer of this film has a great deal of passion towards the city of Hong Kong, and that's something I really appreciate. I think the strongest thing that we have right now, that we Hong Kongers have right now, is Hong Kong itself, the city. People love the city of Hong Kong. But unfortunately, this film doesn't show too much of that either. And yeah, again, it's refreshing, but overall, this movie really did bore me. It's boring. Yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate. I wish I would have liked this movie, but I just didn't. I'm giving Far Far Away or 緣路山旮旯 a strong 4 to a light 5 out of 10. So have you watched the new Far Far Away movie? From 1 to 10, would you rate it? Like, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching.